Ohio. Jim, hours ago, Donald Trump answered a very key question if he'll agree to all three presidential debates. What did he say?
He says he's going to do those debates, Jim, and one of these key questions that will come up during those debates is his immigration policy. As you just stated, Jim, Donald Trump has carved out what seems to be a new position or lack thereof when it comes to the legal status of the undocumented. He said to reporters earlier today he is not going to rule it out when it comes to a pathway to legalization for undocumented people in this country. He did say earlier today that people who want a pathway to citizenship would have to leave the country, return to their country of origin, and then come back. But as you said, we are sort of in a muddle once again when it comes to figuring out Donald Trump's position on immigration. But seeing him here at this county fair here in Ohio earlier today perfectly captures the state of the race at this moment. It may all come down to Ohio. In a sign the finish line is finally on the horizon for this carnival of a campaign, Donald Trump hit a county fair in Ohio.
Can you hear me okay?
Racing to make up lost ground in the polls, Trump and his running mate Mike Pence got one more vivid reminder that Labor Day is the traditional kickoff to the fall election season, as in the image of Hillary Clinton's campaign plane parked in Cleveland within view of Trump Force One.
I am so happy to have all of you with me.
And not to be outdone by Clinton's call to bring her traveling press aboard,
Do you want to sit?
Trump invited a small pool of reporters to join him on his plane as well to talk about the economy.
Yeah, we're going to bring back jobs.
But as he reached out to blue-collar workers in Cleveland, Trump had his eye on one other plane.
And they're having a fight on the tarmac.
Trump pointed to that diplomatic dust-up in China from over the weekend when Air Force One was not greeted with a staircase, forcing President Obama to use a back exit as he arrived for a G20 summit. Proof, Trump said, that Mr. Obama gets no respect on the world stage.
They won't even give him stairs, proper stairs to get out of the airport. You see that? Yeah. They have pictures of other leaders that are going there, and they're coming down with a beautiful red carpet. And Obama's coming down a metal staircase. It's a sign of such disrespect.
Trump then tied the president's trip to Clinton, predicting more unfair trade deals for Ohio.
It'll be the equivalent of NAFTA. I'm not sure anything will be as bad as NAFTA.
The Trump campaign is continuing to hammer Clinton over that recently released FBI report on her use of a private email server, pointing to investigators' findings of scores of emails deleted. Deputy Campaign Manager David Bossie said in a statement, the cover-up is always worse than the crime, and voters have a right to know if these records were illegally destroyed and what role Clinton's aides may have played.
It's just more evidence that Hillary Clinton is the most dishonest candidate for president of the United States since Richard Nixon.
Now, as for those debates coming up later on this month, they start later on this month, Jim. Donald Trump said he is doing some prep work, but he is not doing too much prep work. He said sometimes that can trip up candidates before these debates. He says he doesn't at this point have somebody playing Hillary Clinton. You'll recall in previous presidential debate prep courses, they would have somebody standing in for the opponent. That happened obviously in previous cycles. And when it comes to when would Donald Trump not do one of these debates, he said perhaps in the event of a natural disaster or a hurricane. So, Jim, it sounds like he is coming to those debates. Jim.
We'll be watching. Jim Acosta, thanks very much.